Hi children, welcome to you to the YouTube class Dr. B.R. Ambedkar part 3 children. So in the previous class we were discussed about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's achievement in part 1 and part 2. Let us study about the remaining aspects which was dealt about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar in the lesson part 3 children. Shall we? Here it has a part 2 children, make it as a part 3. Okay, because that we were discussed about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar in the last 2 classes. Okay, let us see what has described about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar in this part children. Shall we? Yes, all of you open your textbook and let us see the paragraph number 7 there. In the previous class that we have discussed how voracious reader he is and what did he do to uplift the depressed class, and why he was made the chairman of a drafting committee, and how he has raised our constitution or constituted our constitution brick by brick with the help of so many luminaries like Alladi Krishna Swami Iyer, then A.N. Rao, got it, who was associated him, got it, in that way, and also he was accompanied with some other people also children to constitute the Indian constitution children, got it. So he explained neatly the difference between the 3 organs of the state, and also he described neatly the duties and the works of all the 3 organs and also responsibility of the citizen in that constitution children. Okay, till then that we were studied in the previous class. Let's move on to the remaining aspects which was dealt in this lesson about the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar children. Jawaharlal Nehru chose Dr. Ambedkar to be the first law minister of independent India. This was the recognition of Dr. Ambedkar's skill in the field of law and legislation, as also tribute to his vision of social justice, vision which was sought to be infused into the new Indian polity. But above all, this was a tribute to the success of Baba Saheb Ambedkar, Dr. Ambedkar's own campaign against social injustice. Who could have dreamt that one born to a Mohar family would one day become not only the law minister but also a lawmaker and be hailed as the modern Manu. Look at this paragraph children. In this paragraph, the author has described why Ambedkar was chose for the first law minister. Got it? Why was Ambedkar chosen as the first law minister? This is also the another 2 marks question children. Why was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar chosen as the first law minister children? Who chose him as the first law minister? Yes, Jawaharlal Nehru chose him as the first law minister of the independent India. Got it? See, Jawaharlal Nehru has chose Dr. B.R. Ambedkar as the first law minister of India because he had observed the special skills in the field of law and legislation. Look at that. I have underlined those sentences children. Dr. Ambedkar's skill in the field of law and legislation as also tribute to his vision of the social justice vision which was sought to be infused into the new Indian polity. He was very much talented in the field of law and legislation because that he worked as the chairperson of the drafting committee now. That is why it has helped Dr. B.R. Ambedkar to learn more about the laws and legislation. That is why Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was chosen as the first law minister of India. And also that he was called as the modern Manu children. See, look at the last 3-4 lines in this paragraph children. See that he was born in a Mohar family. Mohar family in the sense it is one of the backward caste children. Mohar is one of the backward caste that he was born in that one of the backward class caste in India, and being the person of that backward class, he raised himself and worked hard and become the first law minister. See children, here the author says, though he was born in Mahar family and became not only the law minister but also the lawmaker, and be hailed as the modern Manu. Ambedkar, another name was called to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was that modern Manu. We saw the Manu was an ancient philosopher, children. In the same way, the social reformer of the country, children, Manu. In the same way, modern Manu, Ambedkar was called as the modern Manu. See children, here, this particular sentence has asked for the, asked to extract once. See here, that I am going to underline now. Yes, look here. This particular sentence, children, has asked for the extract once. So keep in your mind. That will be asked for the extract for 3 marks. Okay. Have you understood this paragraph, children? So in this paragraph, that we come to know that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was chosen as the first law minister after the independent India, because that he had a special skills in the field of law and legislation. Okay. And also it was a tribute in the sense a honor given to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, because who has fought for the social injustice right from the beginning. Got it? So injustice, opposite of injustice, justice. Anyaya, injustice antandre. Okay. Yes. And what did he call, children? He is called as the modern Manu. Okay. He become not only the lawmaker, but also the, law minister, but also the lawmaker. Got it? Yes. I hope that you have understood this paragraph, children. Shall we move on to the next one? Okay. Yes. In this picture that you can observe Dr. B.R. Ambedkar when he became the first law minister of the India. Okay. Yes. In the 4 decades and more since independence, much progress has been achieved in providing equality of opportunities to the people. Members of the scheduled caste find doors which had been closed to them for centuries being opened. No legal bars exist today for self-expression or self-advancement. They are enrolling themselves in the Institute of Higher Learning and entertaining public services. They have come to occupy high offices of the state, both the central and the states. Judges, ambassadors and governors have been drawn from their ranks, and they have acquitted themselves credibly in all these positions of responsibility. See, because of the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's vision and his struggle, children, the people who are depressed who belongs to the depressed class, they have got more and more opportunities after the constitution of Indian independence, after the constituent of Indian constitution, children, because they were given more opportunities. So those backward classes were called as the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Okay. The doors are open to them. Earlier, they were denied with the basic rights and they were not come to the mainstream, children. But after the fundamental rights and after the constituent of Indian constitution, they were also started to get more and more opportunities, children. So there was no legal bars exist today for self-expression or self-advancement. Okay, everyone, every citizen of India, irrespective of caste, religion and gender, children, everyone are treated as equal. Everyone treated in the same manner. That is why the people who were belong to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes were also getting more and more opportunities. and they are also entering to the public services, and they are occupying the higher post in both the state and central government, children. Some people have become judges, ambassadors, governors. Like this, they were occupying the higher rank post, children. And also, it shows their responsibility too. See, and they have acquitted themselves credibly in all these positions of responsibility. See here, the people of the depressed class or backward class were also given the opportunity to opportunity of different responsibility. As I said, they are becoming ambassadors, and they are occupying the seats of IAS, KAS, like this. In everywhere, even in the politics also, that we could see these type of people are come to the mainstream. Got it? So like this, children, because of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's struggle and his farsightedness, the people who were denied with the basic rights during such period have come to the mainstream today. Got it? And also, every citizens of India are treating equally. Okay, the Constitution of India is given opportunity, has given the exposure to every Indians to be occupy any post according to their education backgrounds. Got it? So this is what said in this paragraph, children. Okay. And yet much remains to be done on the social plane. See, author says, of course, there have been changes. There has been progress compared to the independent period, children. Today, there has been a little bit of changes has been seen in the upliftment of these backward classes. But though there has been a progress, yet much remains to be done in the social plane. Still there is lot to do. That is what the author is explaining, children. The annual reports of the Commissioner of Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes list several violations of the law and several instances where notwithstanding the statute book, members of the scheduled caste have been discriminated against. Baba Saheb Ambedkar's work will be truly complete only when social discrimination is completely eliminated from our society. The author gives the instances about the annual reports of the Commissioner of the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes, children. That report, even today, it is giving the statistics of that. That even today there is discrimination of these backward classes. The reports says, children. Okay, as far as the report is concerned, even today, in some way, not in everywhere, children, somewhere there is discrimination was found. That is why he given wish that the discrimination should be stopped. Okay, notwithstanding the statute book. Okay, notwithstanding the statute book, and the statistical analysis are there, but we are not go for the statistical analysis. We have to think ourselves and try to bring equality in the society, and discrimination should be stopped. Then only the Ambedkar's work will be truly complete. Okay, when people themselves come to know about the equality and stop doing discrimination, then the equality will comes in our society. Got it? So then only that we can eradicate the discrimination on the basis of caste and religion and the gender will be happen. That's what. Okay, eliminate in the sense eradicate, remove. Got it? discrimination in the sense taratamya. When will be the discrimination stopped according to the author here? Okay, when one, okay, thinks self about the equality of all the citizens and the people of India. Okay, automatically the discrimination will be stopped. Okay, that is what said in this paragraph, children. Okay, have you understood? So in this paragraph, the author says, quotes some statistical analysis of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Okay, how the discrimination is still existing. Okay, and how we can eradicate the discrimination through the self-thinking. Okay, yes, got it, children? Yes, and also he opts that then only the Ambedkar's wish will be fulfilled. When the discrimination is completely eradicated or eliminated from the society, then the vision or the wish of the Ambedkar will be fulfilled. So that we have to stop discrimination if there is. Okay, that's what the author suggests here. Okay, yes. Baba Saheb Ambedkar always stressed the importance of a constitutional method to achieve the social objectives. In an interesting observation, he once described the methods of civil disobedience, non-cooperation and satyagraha as the grammar of anarchy. See, my dear children, in democracy or in our society, if the government fails to do something, what the people are doing now? They will go protesting. Okay. They will do some Bharat Bandh, Karnataka Bandh, for even for the, okay, every reason. In order to express their opposition to the government, what the people are doing in India? They go directly do some bandhs or agitations and they do some non-cooperations. Ambedkar says here, these are called the grammar of anarchy. Okay, keep in your mind, children. Okay, what are called the grammar of anarchy? The methods of civil disobedience, non-cooperation and satyagraha are the grammar of anarchy. This line will also may ask for extract and also for 2 marks question, children. Got it? Look at there. So what are the grammar of anarchy, as he said? Civil disobedience and non-cooperation and satyagraha. What I said now, Bharat Bandh, going protest or going against the government or doing damaging the public assets. See, if some any Bharat Bandh or Karnataka Bandh or if any okay, satyagraha or protest goes on, children, what the people will do? Some people, okay, not everyone. Some people will do damage the public assets. They will throw stones to the public transport, or they will throw stones to the public office and they will lit fire and do some make traffic jam. Likewise, they give trouble to the public, children. Okay, that should not be happened. Okay, that is what the Ambedkar is suggesting here. Look at here. Look at this picture, children. What these people are doing? They are doing protest. Okay, these are the imaginary pictures of non-cooperation against the government or any rule, children. Okay, so here what the people are doing? They are protesting, and in the in this picture that you can see, the people are there. Okay, lighting the fire. These things should not be happened in democracy. That is what he says, children. And these things are termed as the grammar of anarchy. Okay. What are the grammar of anarchy? Yes. Civil disobedience, non-cooperation and satyagraha are termed as the grammar of anarchy in democracy. Why Dr. B.R. Ambedkar says all these ways are the grammar of anarchy? Because we are in the democratic system. In democracy, that we have chance to make changes wherever that we are. or else that we are in the system, we can get justice through our okay yes, courts and through our just judiciary, children. Got it? Because nobody can deny our basic rights now. So if you are humiliated or if you are given trouble or if you are cheated by anybody, either it may be from government or some individual, that you have a chance and you have a right to go with the judiciary and get justice now. So then why we have to damage the public asset then? Got it? That is what that he is suggesting. For each and everything in democracy that we have the solution. That is why we should not do these civil disobedience, non-cooperation and satyagraha. These are all called the social evils. We can say it as a anti-social elements. Okay, these are all the anti-social elements, children. So, got it? So, the observation assumes the importance in the context of the public agitation in free India. Okay, you may ask, before independence the people have been public agitation. Agitation since ಮೆರವಣಿಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಸತ್ಯ ಏನು ನಾವು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಲ್ವಾ? Yes. It is one thing to utilize these methods in the struggle against an aligned power, to fight against the foreign power. Aligned power in the sense align in the sense some foreign rule that we have used that power or used that technique. But the right to rebellion is recognized against a government without people consent, be it aligned or national dictatorship. We can go against the allied power or some foreign rule, children. But being in India, it is not the right method to take the way of rebel in the sense ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯ ಸ್ವರೂಪವನ್ನ ಹೋರಾಟದ ಸ್ವರೂಪವನ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಸೂಕ್ತ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ that he is suggesting, children. Got it? It happened to go against the foreign power, but not in democracy. Look here, he says it should not be happen but not in democracy. In democracy, we should not give opportunity or chance to these things. As I said, in democracy, that we have the right to get justice through the judiciary. Okay, look at that. But not in democracy based on free and fair elections. In democratic system, that we have the free and fair election system. If the government is doing injustice, if the government is not working in a proper way, that you have a chance after 5 years that you can change the entire government through your voting system. We have right. The citizens of India have the rights to change any government if it is not working in a proper way, or if it is going against the citizens. That is why, so we should not do such things or damage the public property. See, misdirected and violate such agitation invariably result in the loss of the lives and public property. What happens if we go against the any system by doing this satyagraha or civil disobedience and non-cooperation? What will happen? It will end with the loss of lives and public property. Okay, it cannot damage to the government. It will damage to the public itself, because every public assets have been built by the money of the public itself. If we damage any public asset or the property, it means it is damaging our asset. Okay, in that way, Dr. Ambedkar is suggesting that is not the good way to do all these things. Got it, children? Yes, in this paragraph, the author describes what are the things are called as the grammar of anarchy by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Got it? And also in this paragraph that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar suggests that we should not go against any system, or we should not, by doing non-cooperation and satyagraha and protest, because that we have a beautiful system called democracy. In that democratic system that we have the chance to change even the government, or if you are humiliated individually, that you can go, you can take the judiciary system and get the justice. Okay, that's what is suggested in this paragraph, children. Have you understood? Yes, underline that as lines, children. Grammar of anarchy. What are called grammar of anarchy? Okay. And why did he say it is a grammar of anarchy? Because it results in the damage of the public property, children. That's why he say those are the grammar of anarchy. Arajakateya, the ಅರಾಜಕತೆಗೆ ದಾರಿ ಅಂತ. ಗ್ರಾಮರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅನಾರ್ಕಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನರ್ಥ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅರಾಜಕತೆಯ ದಾರಿಗಳು ಅಂತ. Got it? Yes. I hope that you have understood this paragraph. Have you? Okay. Let's move on to the next paragraph, children. Okay. About 2500 years ago, the Buddha has questioned the caste divisions in India. He said the only valid divisions are the divisions between those who are noble and wholesome, and those who are ignoble or unwholesome. See, the author says around about 2500 years ago, Bhagavan Buddha, Lord Buddha, has identified only the two divisions on the society, two classes on the society. They are noble or wholesome, or ignoble or unwholesome. Look at the words here, children. Okay, these are the only two castes were there. That what he has. Opposite of noble is ignoble. Wholesome is unwholesome. Look here. Opposite of wholesome is unwholesome. See, this is the opposite of wholesome, children. Got it? So, it was said by Buddha, children. Bhagavan Buddha has identified these two classes. Mainly, there are only two classes in the society. They are noble, good. Noble in the sense good. Ignoble, bad. Wholesome, who are sympathetic and kind. Unwholesome, who are bad or cruel. In that way. Got it? So that he had listed only the two categories in the society. There is no other caste system, subcaste, divisions, okay, and subdivisions. There were no any such type of systems on the society. There are only two castes on the society. They are good and bad, noble and ignoble. The same thing the Tamil poetess Avi had said similarly. In the same way, the Tamil poet is also described the two castes on the society, children. There are only two castes in the world, namely the charitable who give and are the superior, and the misers who are not and are therefore inferior. See, charitable are called the superior, okay, and the misers. See, only two castes. The Tamil poet Avi, look at the lines here. He is a Tamil poetess. Okay, this poetess has identified only the two castes on the world, on the earth. They are charitable. Charitable in the sense who are so kind and have a helping nature. Okay, charitable. Charity in the sense kindness and giving helping hand. Who are lending the helping hands. They are called charitable. Who give and are called superior. They are called superior. And the misers who do not. Some people, they do not share anything with them, children. They are called misers. Jupundru anta karitivi innondaradalli. And they are called inferiors. Okay. So see here, we can get the another two opposites also here. Look at here. The opposite of superior is inferior. Got it, children? Okay. Charitable and misers. Yeah. Look here. This is misers and charitable. These two also can become the opposite children. Okay, this was mentioned. This was said by Tamil poetess Avi. Okay, who is that poet who is found, who has highlighted the two caste on the world? Yes, Tamil poetess Avi. Good and bad. Okay, superior and inferior, charitable and misers. Okay, so like this, children, the Tamil poet has also find there are two castes on the earth. So the author is suggesting that we have to stop doing discrimination on the name of caste. Throughout the course of Indian history, great sages and saints exposed the hollowness of these divisions and sought to bring all the communities of India together in a creative partnership. All the saints and reformers, religious reformers and sages, okay, they exposed the hollowness in the sense to bring the unity and to about these divisions in the sense the discrimination on the name, caste and the other things, children. Okay, they try to wipe out in the sense remove this caste system in India, in communities of in India together in a creative partnership. Okay, they try to brought the unity among the Indians in their social work and in their preachings, children. But caste, by virtue of its power structure, showed itself to be firmly entrenched. Entrenched in the sense it is deep rooted. Although the saints and great people have tried to wipe out or remove this system, it has not yet happened. It has not yet removed completely, because it was deeply rooted. Okay, it was deep rooted. It was entrenched deep into the society. In the sense, the author is saying here, the caste system is still existing in the society, though it has tried to eradicate or remove from the society. Got it, children? Yes. Have you understood this paragraph? Okay. Under the policy of divide and rule, the British rulers exaggerated the caste distinction and divided the people of India further to strengthen their hegemony over us. So this caste system was entrenched this much because of the foreign power or the British rule, who have divided our caste and our society on the name of caste and religion, children. In order to survive themselves, in order to survive for their survival, they have divided the caste and religion in India, children. And it was given to great Indians of our time. They are Mahatma Gandhi and Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, to repudiate caste and proclaim the oneness of the Hindu community. See, the Britishers have done all these damages in their rule, children, but the two great people of India called Mahatma Gandhiji and Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar have tried to wipe out or to remove the century back problem of caste system to change or to make it some to bring some changes in the society, to repudiate caste and proclaim the oneness among the Hindu community. In a sense, they have tried hard, they worked hard to bring the oneness, integrity among the Indians by removing the prejudice of caste system. Gandhiji did so by reminding the higher caste of their duty towards the depressed class. See, look here. What did Gandhiji do to yes, uplift the depressed class children? Okay, he reminded the, so look here children, this is also very important yes, area. Yes, keep in your mind. Be careful in these line children. See, Gandhiji did so by reminding the higher caste of their duty towards the depressed class. What did Gandhiji do? He reminded in the sense, he gave awareness to the higher class people that what they have to do for the lower caste people in the India, and what they have, their duties. Okay, they have to be treated well. They have also given opportunities, and they have also tried to brought to the mainstream. Like this, Gandhiji brought awareness in the higher caste about the lower caste people children. In the same way, Baba Saheb Ambedkar did the same by reminding them of their inherent right to equality with the higher and more powerful caste. See, Gandhiji is here reminded the higher class about the depressed class children. In the same way, Ambedkar, he has reminded them about the inherent right of their equality and how they can get the equality through their rights against the powerful caste who are discriminating them. Got it? So look here children, both these two, Gandhiji and Baba Saheb, both of them are worked for the upliftment of the depressed class. Gandhiji followed the method of reminding the higher class, and Baba Saheb Ambedkar followed the method of reminding the lower class about their rights in the society. One stressed the duties, the other stressed the rights. Together, they brought about the veritable revolution in social thought. See, the intention of both Gandhiji and Ambedkar is same, but the way they have followed is little different. But the motto, the ideals, or the aim of these two are same, to bring the social justice in the society. Got it, children? See, these lines are underlined here. Okay. Yes, this may ask for extract. One stressed the duty. Who stressed the duty here? Gandhiji. And other stressed the rights. Who stressed the rights here? Ambedkar. Who is one here? Gandhiji. Who is other here? Very good. That is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So, got it, children? This may also ask for your examination, children. And also, what I have marked just now, children, that is also very important on the point of 2 marks question, children. And in a sense, how they may, what question they may ask? How did Gandhiji try to awaken the higher caste people about their duties? What did Gandhiji do to uplift the depressed class? Okay, either they may ask only Gandhiji, or they may ask both Gandhiji and Ambedkar. What did Gandhiji and Ambedkar do to uplift the depressed class in India? Okay, how did they work together to uplift the depressed class in India? Got it? Like this, they may ask, children. Have you understood? Shall we move on to the next paragraph? Okay. See then. When Baba Saheb passed away in December 1956, Jawaharlal Nehru made a moving reference in Lok Sabha, describing Baba Saheb as a symbol of revolt. A symbol of revolt, he said. See there. Baba Saheb died in December 1956, children. When he died, children, Nehru made a moving reference in Lok Sabha, and he described that Baba Saheb as a symbol of revolt. Underline that word also. Who is the symbol of revolt referred here? As Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Who made this statement, children? That was made by Jawaharlal Nehru, then Prime Minister of India. When was it made? When Dr. B.R. Ambedkar passed away, or when he was died. When was he died? He was died in December 1956. Okay. So what did he quote, or what reference that he made, or what did he say on his condolence message at the death of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar? Let us see. I have no doubt that whether we agreed with him or not in many matters, that perseverance, that persistence, and that, if I may use the word, sometimes virulence of his opposition to all this did keep the people's mind awake and did not allow them to become complacent about the matters which could not be forgotten, and helped in rousing up those groups in our country which had suffered for a long in the past. It is, therefore, sad that such a prominent champion of the oppressed and depressed in India, and one who took such an important part in our activities, has passed away. Look at the message of Dr. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru there. He expresses his sadness, and also in this message that we can understand how hard work Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has done to the depressed class in India. See, I had no doubt. ನನಗೆ ಅನುಮಾನನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಎಷ್ಟೋ ವಿಚಾರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ವಿರುದ್ಧವಾಗಿದ್ವಿ. ನಾವು ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಹರು ಅಂಡ್ ಇಸ್ and other people. ಅಂದರೆ when the debate was going on, sometimes they are not willing of the opinion of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. ಚರ್ಚೆ ನಡೆಯುವಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸರಿ ಅವ್ರ ವಿರುದ್ಧವಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಬೇಡ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಅವರ ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್ ರೆಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಇದಾವೆ. ನೋಡಿ, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನೋ ಡೌಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ವಿ ಅಗ್ರೀಡ್ ವಿತ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್. ಎಷ್ಟೋ ವಿಚಾರಗಳನ್ನು ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೀವಿ, ಕೆಲವನ್ನು ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಪರ್ಸಿವಿಯರೆನ್ಸ್, ಆದರೆ the perseverance, the continuous hard work, the persistence in sense ತಾಳ್ಮೆ, patience and hard working quality, and that, if I may use the word sometimes, virulence. Look at the word. So the Nehru used the word, the virulence, being in a sense deadly, very harmful, being harmful. Okay. Of his opinion, all this did keep the people's mind awake and did not allow them to become complacent about the matters which could not be forgotten. He did a struggle. He did a strong fight in order to bring the justice that should not be forgotten. And he helped in rousing up those groups. He did all these achievements, all this hard work, in order to rise the groups which were humiliated, which were downtrodden, which were denied with their basic rights, since and suffered for a long in the past. It is therefore sad. That's why he expresses sadness. Such a prominent champion of the oppressed and depressed in India. Oppressed in a sense, who were ruled cruelly, who were looked after in a cruel way. Depressed in a sense, who were downtrodden. He represents that group, that caste, and tried to give justice throughout his life to those people, and he will become the champion of that group. And we took such important part. Who took such an important part in our activities. Though he came from that group children, he did a hard work, and he gave a lot of contribution to the constituent of Indian Constitution, and he participated in the debates of the Parliament, and had helped to give a direction to the forthcoming India, or the future India, and that person is passed away. That is what Dr. B.R. That is what Nehru expressed in his condolence message, children. Got it, children? So, look at that. In the third line of this paragraph, the particular word is underlined there. A symbol of revolt. Krantiya Swarupa. Krantiya Sanketa. Okay, he said. That may also ask in extract, children. Who is the symbol of revolt here? Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Who said this? Nehru. Okay. Yes. Why did he say so? Because throughout his life, he worked and he fought for the upliftment of the depressed class in India. Got it? There can be no doubt that the day is not far off when Baba Sahib's dream of Samata will become reality. And also, the author says, the time is very near to see the equality in the society. Okay, even today that we can see the equality in the society. Today that we can see the equality, children. We can't see the humiliation in the society nowadays. Everyone are treating equally in the society. Got it? And you can see this picture when Baba Sahib Ambedkar was passed away on 6th December 1956. The sea of the people, they were gathered like an ocean to give a condolence or to look him at last in that place, children. Okay, this is the last photo picture of Ambedkar's death, children. Got it? Yes. I hope that you have seen this one. Have you understood, children? Yes. Yes, I think that you have understood this lesson, children. As for the exam point of view, that I have given a few questions here. Look at that. Why did Nehru choose Ambedkar as a first law minister? Got it, children? And what is grammar of anarchy that we have discussed? And another applicatory question that I am asking: describe the role of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and Mahatma Gandhi ji in eradicating the caste system in India. Okay. ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾತಿ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯನ್ನು ನಿರ್ಮೂಲನೆ ಮಾಡುವಲ್ಲಿ ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿ ಮತ್ತು ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಅವರ ಪಾತ್ರವನ್ನು ವಿವರಿಸಿ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, write the answer to these questions in your home, children, and show to your teacher. And for my children, for my students, I am suggesting you show the notes in the tomorrow's class, this homework in the tomorrow's class. Okay. Yes, thank you, and do well. Your exams are your midterm examinations will also come soon, children. Got it? For the midterm examination, that we have one poem remaining, that is Song of India, that will also finish it soon. Thank you so much.